Right, hey guys, AniCrunch here, and we're back with Hannibal, season 3, episode 8. So, the greatest romance of all time, of our generations. Hannibal continues. Still love that whole thing where it's like he's finally sick and done with this. Will's just like he's done. He wants to just move on, move past all this. And then Hannibal goes and turns himself in so he can never forget where he was. It's really the most romantic show ever. It's so funny, just like not rewatching it, but like editing my old videos and then like reading your guys' comments and all that. It's just like, who would have thought that when you start Hannibal with this sort of like, it starts off like sort of exotic guy who eats humans, turns into like some of the most beautiful romantic lines in TV. Generally, it is like actually really fucking impressive. I love Willem and Hannibal's relationship. It's fascinating. I just love watching it unfold on the screen. I am definitely looking forward to giving this a good old rewatch when I've finished it. I'm just gonna probably sit down and just like have it on in the background, or that's like watching it in general. I can't wait. It's gonna be a lot of fun, but generally impressed. I think they're doing a good job, especially trying to convince like 2 seasons down to 1. The pacing, I'm quite surprised the pacing hasn't felt bad. Like I thought that maybe there's been a lot of build-up episodes, but I thought maybe like I was going to feel dead rushed. But no, I'm pretty happy with the pacing so far. So apparently last episode was supposed to be sort of like the first, this would have been a whole season, and then this bit what we're getting now should have been its own season in itself. So I have got that expectations, but I think they're doing a very good job, and I'm glad that he knew he didn't take the risk of not knowing to be cancelled, the director, or they made the major decision to just continue trying to get an ending out there I can appreciate. So I'm looking forward to see how they do cap this off. But overall, fantastic show. I'm looking forward to keep going. But yeah, no, Hannibal's been so much fun. I've generally had just a lot of fun with it. Like, it's not what I expected at all. When I went into Hannibal, I just expected sort of like, I don't know what I expected, to be fair. It's not what I expected, I've got to say. I don't know how to... I can't even explain what I thought the show was going to be about. It's definitely not gone the way I thought it has, and I love the direction it's taken. But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed the reaction, leave a like, subscribe, let's jump to this. 3, 2, 1, play. Let's see if Hannibal's Mind Palace does the job. What an intense intro to an episode. I don't have a fucking clue what's going on, but Jesus Christ. Satanist, probably? Oh, it's the famous cage from the movie. Silence of the Lamb. I barely remember that movie, I've got to be honest. I think I watched... I can't remember watching it all the way through. I think I just walked in. I can't remember if I walked into my dad watching it or not. I can't remember. I just remember a bit where he puts on someone's face.
Your daily rounds of institutional life.
An itch easy enough to scratch when there's cause to celebrate.
I was talking about this show. This was what I know. She brought up literally like Bloom has the best drip now, and I have to inclined to agree. Like Bloom's drip now is a point.
Isn't it? Promise you intend to keep.
I always keep my promises.
Never really thought how he would have got out of the death sentence. I forget it's America, but there we go. I can't stop thinking about that outfit change with the cane and everything as well.
You last made it for me? The blood was from a cow, only in the derogatory sense. Universal about what he does. Kills whole families. And in their homes.
Fucking hell. That explains why all the blood was there.
Core of the American dream. You might say he's a 4-quadrant killer.
This guy's lived through so much. Frederick's the immortal, man. Guts ripped out. Eye, bullet through the end. Oh, man's got a tome. Jesus. Man's Brandon Sanderson. Jack! God, how come every character just like design? It just improves. That's the animation style changes in an anime or something. So everyone's wardrobe, everyone's look, it's just aesthetically pleasing. Man's closed a bunch of doors and sealed them with tape. It shouldn't take much to open them back up there. That was this thing Hannibal sent off.
Dear Will, we have all found a new life, but our old lives hover in the shadows. Soon enough, I fear Jack Crawford will come knocking. I would encourage you as a friend not to step back through the door he holds open. It's dark on the other side, and madness is waiting.
Smart motherfucker. How did he know? Then he's dragged back in the wheel just like that. It's like he's just shut a bunch of doors, but he didn't lock any of them. They're all easy to access again. Who eats a half-eaten baby bell? There's a message there. Oh, there's some blood. I assume it's blood. Oh, we're going to get a little vroom, vroom. We haven't had that in ages, have we? Jesus. Oh, God, could you just imagine this? Oh, just the thought of this in my head now. It's like a family of 4 or 5. Ugh. Bad looks of it, didn't do it in the nicest way either. Oh, that's such a cool shot. I like that. That's cool. It's like a thingy of his ability. Fucking hell! He ravaged him. To get blood spatters like that. Could you? I couldn't ever imagine reading the books of these. I bet the books are so like detailed with like because they've got to describe all this. God, imagine how sick you'd be. Just like the fact. Oh, it's quite grim when you think about it. Oh, that'd be so scary. Oh, bless him. God, we haven't seen this in ages. Oh, this is weird. It's getting chills because they've left it so long. It's because he's got to relive it as well. Doesn't even make a noise. Just goes straight upstairs while asleep, and that's terrifying. So does he kill the parents before he kills the... Oh, so he uses a blade.
I cut Mr. Leeds' throat as he lies asleep beside his wife. I shoot Mrs. bullet enters to the right of her navel and lodges in her lumbar spine. Mr. Leeds rises, his throat cut.
Just how quickly you do. Imagine just waking up to this. What would be going through your head right now? Oh, if this happened to you. That's just terrifying.
Losing gouts of blood, Mr. Leeds falls and dies outside his son's room.
Jesus. This is how quickly that happens.
The smashing of mirrors begins.
Fucking hell. Oof, makes you basically.
I knew the family after they were dead.
Just how scary the thought of that is. Just walked up.
Teeth from the bite marks on Mrs. Leeds, and this cheddar cheese wheel thing we found in the refrigerator. Yeah, tooth fairy was feeling peckish.
Oh, fair enough. But half a baby bell. We've got no respect for that. You gotta eat the whole thing.
So he could see his face in there. One in her mouth was obscured by blood. Same with the eyes. Ran into
This is weird. It's like it's weird, isn't it? Being back in this sort of situation.
You've seen these teeth, sort of APB.
Well, it might be of some use. Is there an opinion that you want, Will?
It's a mindset I need to recover. I have to see Hannibal.
He knows exactly where to find him. In that bloody mind palace. Reunited. Da, 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 da. Oh, this. Oh. The soundtrack they're using. Hello, gentlemen. Hello, Will. Oh, the power. Oh, so good. It's like watching oh, God. Oh, God, this show. Insanely good. It's so well written. So well directed. Just so well everything. I don't think... why is it so well everything? It's just amazingly done. Ugh. Ugh. I love it. I love it. I think that was a really good episode. It was like weirdly like a parallel between episode 1 in a weird sense. It just felt like watching episode 1, but not, because it was just so different, obviously, because of how far we've come between episode 1 and now, and just how different the characters are and where we are. It was nice to just see certain things again, and then, like, yeah, you could tell this definitely would have been, like, the season 4 of the show, easily. It's just like, oh, could you imagine coming back to that episode, like, the perfect episode to come back to season 4, that was, like, really, really good. Interesting killer, but it makes sense, like, yeah, Will's trying to reopen doors he closed, and to get back to his full potential, he does need to open that Hannibal door again. So I look forward to see how they're going to handle that, and look forward to their conversation next episode. Interesting killer, just very terrifying when you think about it. I couldn't imagine how it's described in the books. Maybe not this, it might not be this certain case, but just the cases in general, and how they're described. Oh, our characters just like, yeah, they're looking fashionable. Like, I just love everyone's outfits in this show. It's just like fucking god tier. I do have to. Oh. I do have to get going because I've got gym in a minute, so I'm going to keep this one short, but we'll go over the Patreon comments. I think we can put one, but God, this is a good episode from start to finish, not a slow moment. Oh, I love how Will just seems so done with everything, which, thinking about it, goes into the last couple of scenes in the episode. Like, it really reached a point where it's like, how the fuck did I become in my life? When will it end? And when he bites Cordel's cheek, oof. And the way Hannibal just smiles at him. Hannibal is so in love, please. That scene was badass. But yeah, Jesus Christ. He was in a fun position. I like how Lana asked Hannibal to save Will when it probably wasn't necessary. There's no way Hannibal is going to leave Will leave Will to have his face cut off. I don't think it would. Oh, that was such a good transition when I thought it was his face, but his hand just ripped off the other guy's face. Jesus Christ! Even if they get past the whole head sewing thing, and I think Hannibal has moved on from wanting to eat his brain at this point. Like, absolutely would never let Mason have Will's face, but Lana still gets him to promise Hannibal. I always keep my promises. Him back to how Hannibal promised to kill Alana. Oof, be careful, Alana. Yeah, no, one thing I was talking about Megan. I was talking about it with her. 100%. Like Alana needs to be careful and keeps his promises. I will say, I think they did have the massacre originally planned to be filmed. I don't remember really if they filmed it. It's a certain shame that we didn't get to see it, because I would have just loved to see Hannibal going ham. Yeah, I really would wish to actually do that. Would have been cool. But because of the lack of budget, they couldn't film how they wanted to. So I think, wow, they may have filmed something, they weren't totally happy with it, and so decided not to show it. Yeah, I guess I respect that. Like, if it didn't look as good as you want it to be, especially without the cinematography level of Hannibal, I wouldn't be surprised. When Hannibal was carrying Will, the script says has him carrying Will on his back, but Mads was like, screw it, I'm going to carry him Bribe style. Mads truly thought his actions in this acting choice. Yeah, it's like, I like things like that when the actors, because you can tell the actors are so into the characters, because it's the point when they get so into the character that they write stuff themselves, and I think that's pretty cool. And even in the interviews about Hannibal was really pushing this was a romance between Hannibal and Will. There was an interview before season 3, actually, where Hugh calls it poetic platonic love, and Madge just squints his eyes and was basically like, I don't think so. And the entire place just burst out laughing. That's actually quite funny. I could just imagine his little squint. God, and then the breakup scene, you're right, it really is like a divorce scene, and it goes back to what I said about Will at the beginning. He's done. He's over this. He's tried and he's accepted he doesn't want Hannibal dead, but he can't go with him, and he's not torn over this. So that's why he basically says Hannibal face literally devastates me. This shows make it as devastating for a cannibal serial killer. Okay, it's fiction. He hurts from. Fun fact, the notebook you see that he is working on was actually a formula to turn back time. I'm positive that it would have in some way come into play in the future. I have no idea how, but they would have managed it, I'm sure. Mind Palace, mate, you can do anything. And Hannibal is too smart. He's probably sat outside thinking, how can I do this exactly what Will doesn't want? And he decides to turn himself in, as both Will and Alana point out multiple times. Hannibal is always playing. He's enjoying his life. He enjoys his life free. He was satisfied enough, but ever since he met Will, he was kind of starting wanting other things. I've said it before, but I don't consider Hannibal an actual psychopath, because he does have emotions. I think you're thinking of sociopath. Sociopath's the one where he's got no emotions. Psychopaths are just crazy people, aren't they? I think that's how it is. I'm not too sure though. He does have emotions. He just doesn't care about society laws. So when he turns himself in, he's not losing. Yeah, he's definitely not a sociopath. Sociopaths normally like just cut off from reality and just know how to fake everything. Like Hannibal has a personality, which is great, because that's the most interesting kind of killer. And just goes well with Will's empathy. Like Jack says, they didn't catch Hannibal. Hannibal turned himself in purely because now Will be forced to know exactly where he is and what he's doing. He is able to think of him, knowing that he really wants to. He can go see him, which he is doing this episode. And then Alana and think Frederick keeping him alive. And next we start 2-part. I mentioned it before, but season 3 is actually originally to be season 3 and 4, but because they had feelings that it was going to get cancelled for season 3 and wanted to satisfy an ending, Brian, the creator, decided to condense season 3 and season 4 into one original season. I think that was probably the best decision to make. This is where season 3 was supposed to end. I think Italy and Mason's story was supposed to last 13 episodes. Season 3 and the next 6 episodes lasting 13 episodes. Because season 4, they had 7 seasons planned. 7 seasons, but I think they did a good job, because then they had to cut it into one season. So that's per season. That's pretty impressive, actually. I didn't realize it was meant to be 7. Now we're starting the final cut. God, I wonder how much content there is in the books. Jesus. Countdown Hannibal, only 6 episodes left. Also note about fanfictions, I love it. My goal is to be an author, and I've written tons of fanfictions and a couple of Hannibal fictions, actually, but I've written about 200 over like 30 or so different fandoms, and I have to say Hannibal's fandom is the best fictions I've ever read. This fandom has massive talent. It's crazy. I do like fan fictions. They're a lot of fun, especially when they're well written. So it's like when you got such a strong cast of characters and you can sort of write them in any situation, that is just like the key to strong written characters and knowing how they would react in different situations. So I'm not surprised. But yeah, no, thank you for your comment. I always appreciate the time you put into them. And yeah, and thank you for everyone else who's commented over the series and supported these reactions. Like I say, and thanks to you guys. I get to watch these cool shows. And yeah, no, guys, thank you so much for watching. Peace. Oh, Hannibal, such a good show.